Okay, let's talk about Revelation 7. It's a pretty straightforward chapter, but we will cover it nonetheless, okay? And so I ask for God's wisdom as we try to cover it and as we learn about the sealing of the elect. Now, again, remember the seals we just covered in chapter 6. Seals keep things safe, they keep it protected, they keep it under lock and key, right? When you have a seal on something, it means you can't open it. Keeps it preserved. Think a seal on your jar, right? Break the seal. Think a seal on your letter. Break the seal means you know it's been opened, right? So the elect are getting sealed in that they're getting shut in. They're getting the truth locked into their foreheads. They're getting locked into the truth. You're going to see that here in Revelation 7. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Now, anybody who tries to tell you that there are corners of the earth does not understand the compass rose. What is being said here is north, south, east, and west. Just like the 4 beasts in the throne room, just like the 4 farthest most points of the camp in Numbers, right? Like we've been talking about, if you've been following along, you know, it is just the 4 directions. Okay, those are the 4 corners. The 4 directions. What is being said here is the angels are holding back the end of the time. Okay, that's what's happening here. The angels are holding back the end. And so what we're seeing here is the 4 corners of the earth holding the 4 winds of the earth. 4 winds of the earth is always symbolic of the end of the time. Okay. And so when we go to Ezekiel 37, and we should, the latter chapters of Ezekiel have a lot to say about the end. We see that here it is. I knew it was somewhere. Ezekiel 37:9. Then he said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophecy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the 4 winds, O breath, and breathe upon those slain that they may live. Right? We see that this is not the wind of destruction, the physical winds of destruction, right? This is the wind of God's living and also destroying breath. Like this is Ruach. This is God's allowance of living spiritually, because that's what Ezekiel 37 is talking about. It's talking about the dry bones. A lot of people know about the dry bones. And so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came onto them, and they lived. Right? The 4 winds that are being talked about in Ezekiel 37:9 and 10 are the same 4 winds being talked about in Revelation 7:1. It's not winds that you get from, it's not the winds of the weather that we experience now. It's what God allows with his destruction or life force. Okay, so that's what is being said here. It is not about physical wind. And so what people tend to not realize when they talk about it being, you know, the 4 corners of the earth, they take it completely out of context, saying like earth is a square, earth is a flat, earth is a this, earth is a that. No, that's not what is being said here. Okay. And so, not to blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. What we're seeing is don't bring about the end yet. There are still people who need to be sealed. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anytime we see 4 mentioned, it has to do with the things of the earth, the things of creation, right? And of course, 4 seasons, for lunar cycles, like 4 weeks, for winds, for directions. I mean, we see that a lot when it comes to the earth. So that's a number pertaining to the earth. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Right? This is the elect here. The end will not come until these people are sealed. Well, when is that happening? Literally right now. We are in a massive sealing time. This is the time in between the 5th and the 6th. The winds are being held back right now. We are being preserved right now. I know people are not going to like this, and I do not care. If the presidential election in the United States did not go the way that it did, we would probably be in the end already. But since it did, we are being preserved out. And I know people are going to think that's not the case. Do not care. That is definitely the case. Okay, we are being preserved through to the longer timeline because of decisions made. The United States especially is trying to come back to Christ. This is a very heavy revealing time. So yes, we are in a sealing time. And again, the angels are just messengers. They're just messengers. So they're just doing God's work here. And the angel that is coming from the east that cries, he has the seal of the living God on his forehead, right? He's a high level ranking official angel that he's got the seal of God on his forehead. And so this order has to be obeyed. And it is, right? So the end won't come until the truth is sealed in the people's foreheads. It will not happen. And so this is why I say this is pretty straightforward, because it kind of, speaks for itself. But and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. I tend to think that is a literal 144,000. When Christ says all would be deceived, he is not kidding. So the 8 billion plus souls on this earth, truly, I do not believe more than 144,000 of them, plus 7,000 elect, are going to not take the mark. 150,000 of 8 billion will know the truth, and the rest will be fooled by the false one. And it will probably not even be hard for Satan, because most people, even Christians who love God and who mean well, will not recognize the Messiah, the real Messiah, from the false one. They don't even know he's coming, a lot of them. A lot of really well-meaning Christians think that they're getting raptured out of here because they're special. They're not ready for a spiritual war. They're not spiritual warriors. And so therefore they're not sealed. But here are the ones who are sealed. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh, and again, were sealed 12,000. These are the same patriarchs, just with like the names in the Greek versus in the Hebrew, right? Naphtali is Naphtali. Aser is Asher. Judah without the H is Judah with the H, right? Just don't get fooled here, guys. Manasseh is Manasseh. Notice the H's are missing. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. That should raise your eyebrows, because Levi doesn't have an inheritance. They do not have a land allotment, right? But yet and still, those will be sealed. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. And so we're missing from this number Ephraim and Dan. Dan loses their inheritance completely because of idolatry, right? Remember in Genesis 49, Jacob, Israel says that Dan is an adder by the way. He is a serpent. So he will lose his the tribe of Dan will lose their birthright. Ephraim, I think kind of just gets blends in with Manasseh here. That is why they're not mentioned specifically by name. Manasseh and Ephraim are often together. Or when we are told about Joseph, that might also pull in Ephraim. So we, of course, most people in the tribes don't even know who they are. One, God knows though. And two, it is very hard at this point to trace back who's specific to what tribe specifically. There has been a lot of scattering. There has been a lot of mixing. There has been a lot of things that make it kind of difficult to figure out who's who. But again, God knows, so we don't need to worry too much about it. After this, right, after the sealing, after all these people learn about the truth of the Kenites and learn about the truth of the false one coming first and learn about the truth of the witness of the word here in Revelation, after that, behold, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Please do not let anybody tell you that the people you have loved who have died are not in heaven with Christ, okay? Because this is a heaven army. This is the people who have died over the last 6,000 years who have chosen Christ. We saw them in Revelation 4 and 5 in the throne room. We are seeing them in Revelation 7, 9, again before the throne in their white robes, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues. So for anybody who thinks the people are dead in the ground, they do not understand Revelation 7, 9, right? Everybody who has ever lived and already died who believed in Christ is up there with him. That includes Kenites who have converted. Okay? Now, people will try to tell you this is the elect. It's not. These are people who have, because the elect are getting sealed on earth. Okay, John is split screening right now. Heaven, we've got a multitude of every nation in white linens worshiping the Lamb. And on earth, the elect are getting sealed. We have the split screen that I talked about. Okay, so you really have to understand that this is going on in heaven. There is no throne yet on earth for our Father. There is a false one who's going to sit on a throne pretending to be Jesus. And that even hasn't happened yet. So you know this is talking about heaven. Anytime you get white linens mentioned, it's always going to be talking about heaven. We don't really wear white linens on earth. And so they have palms in their hands, and they cry with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. God is sitting on his throne right now up in heaven, and they are around it right now as we speak. I can't make this clear. I'm sorry. Revelation 4, 5, and 7 cannot make this clearer. Okay, so the 144,000 getting sealed on earth and the heavenly army that already exists, those are the people making the first resurrection. Most of them have already made the resurrection. Most of them are already up there in the resurrection. They've already been resurrected. They're already with him. They've already chosen Christ. So these are the people that we see in Revelation 7 who are making the first cut. Please be in that cut. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worshipped God. Now remember, John, as he's describing all these things that he's seen, he's still in the throne room. Okay, so Revelation 4, 5, 6, and 7, John is in the throne room. He's in the throne room watching these things play out, watching these things open up like a movie playing before him. And how many of the angels, guys? All the angels, and all the angels stood around about the throne. Well, wait a minute. We just saw standing around the throne a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues. The angels are just the people. That's it. They're just messengers of God doing God's work. Hundreds of millions of them. Can't be counted. All the angels stood around about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts and fell before the throne on their faces and worshiped God. Same type of thing that we saw in Revelation 5. Saying amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. This should sound exactly what we just heard in Revelation 5. Revelation 5, 11, 12, 13, and 14 should sound exactly like Revelation 7, 9 through 12. Okay, it should sound the same because it basically is the same type of a thing. Okay, John is still in the same place. He's still witnessing the same scene. He's in heaven. And this is that again. Remember, John is seeing a split screen. So, what John is seeing in heaven is the worship of the first resurrection. And right now in Revelation 7, what he's seeing is the sealing of those who are on earth who will make the first resurrection. When Christ returns, these two people are going to meet. That's what 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 17 is talking about. Christ is coming back with this heavenly army to gather the elect, those who stood, who overcame, to be together. Revelation 7 pairs them together. Okay, but John is in the throne room, and in heaven, he's witnessing the same thing that he was just witnessing in Revelation 5. That hasn't changed in heaven, right? So what they're saying are again the seven blessings, the seven spirits rather of God, right? These are the seven spirits. Blessing, and again, you will see this again, Revelation 5:13. It's a double witness. It's the same conversation being had. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might. Those are the seven spirits of God. And of course, be unto our God forever and ever. They have to be. They belong to God. So yes. And one of the elders answered and saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? Because again, your white robes are the things you wear in heaven. They are made by your righteous acts. And so one of the elders is testing John and asking him, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. Like, you know, I really don't. Like, I'm not in heaven yet. John's body is on Patmos. His spirit is taken to the throne room on the Lord's day. And the elder said unto John, these are they which came out of great tribulation, not the great tribulation. They came out of great tribulation in their own times and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the lamb. Okay, so this is not, John is learning about these white robed people, all the people of the last 6,000 years who chose Christ in the tribulation of their lifetime, because we have tribulation in our lifetime. They had really great tribulation in that most of them suffered and died and were tortured for Christ. People nowadays don't even have that going on. Even the great tribulation will be a time where the thing is a spiritual deception, not a physical torture. That's been going on for years. So your linens are your robes, and your linens are created by your righteous act. And of course, the elder knows what's going on. He's testing John, and John says, I'm not sure, you tell me. So don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you that these multitude that can't be numbered are the people who live now, because they're absolutely not. They're the people who've been living for the last 6,000 years. There's no way to number that. And so what we see is that great tribulation is not the great tribulation. Just like in Genesis 2, mankind is not the man Adam. Right? Genesis 1, 26, 28, the word there is Adam, and that's mankind. That's humanity. But in Genesis 2, 7, when God creates Adam, the specific man, the language in the Hebrew is eth ha-Adam. It is the specific man Adam. The article counts, right? The is an article that is a definite article. It talks about something very specific. The great tribulation versus someone going through tribulation in their life. We have to be able to distinguish that, right? The revelation of Christ is different than a revelation given by God. See how that works? It's very important to be able to distinguish that. If I died tomorrow, my life was definitely a great tribulation caused by mostly Satan and a little bit me. Okay, so I would have gone through a great tribulation, but I would not have gone through the great tribulation that we are warned about in Revelation. Right? And so we're seeing heaven right now. John is in the throne room in heaven, which at this very moment exists at this very time. Therefore, are they before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. Right? That is happening right now. God is being served by the people who have already chosen him. And it's not new. Okay? God is a king. He has a kingdom. He's just letting this earth be in the hands of a little menace for a while. But that's going to come to an end soon. But don't think that the entire universe worships our creator. He is a king on his throne. Throne's in heaven right now. And so, yeah, right now, currently, this very moment in time, are they that have lived and died already, that washed their lives in the blood of the Lamb, that picked Christ? They're already with him. They've been with him. Anybody who tells you they are anywhere else does not understand Revelation 7. The ones who did not pick him are on the other side of the goal, which we hear about in Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus goes right into the bosom of Abraham. The rich man is on the other side, like somebody warned the people. Right. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. Bingo, guys. Hey, listen up. Guess what? When you are in the spiritual body, there is no flesh requirements. That's how you know that they're talking about heaven. Also the white linens, of course. That, and also the fact that they're serving to God right now as we speak. Also that. But they don't need the things that this flesh body needs. We already know there is no flesh and blood in the kingdom of heaven anyway. We are told that. But there's no human needs, and there's not wanting for anything because God provides it. He provides himself. And so the temperature doesn't bother them. Basic fundamental human needs don't bother them. None of that bothers them. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them and shall lead them unto living fountain of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. Right? That is a promise. Jesus takes care of those who choose him, and there is no sadness in that when we go back to him, or in the case of some of us, when he comes here to us, when he comes here to vanquish enemies, right? When he comes here to make his presence very known. But the worship of Christ is already going on in heaven. The people who have already died and picked him are already worshiping him. He's there amongst them. He's in the throne room in front of John opening seals while his Father's presence is on the seat and the 24 elders are around them. It is a throne room that houses multitudes of people. Really try to envision this, guys. Really try. Okay, so this is the split screen, one of the places we get the split screen John is in the throne room for Revelation 4 to 7, and he'll also be there for Revelation. He'll be there for a little bit. But even still, we see the throne room. Everybody is there, except for the people who are on the side of the Gulf and the people who are on Earth, which John is trying to find out more about so he can write this book and warn them. Okay, so split screen going on here. And that is Revelation 7. It is a very important chapter because it talks about all the people who are going to be in the first resurrection, some of whom are already in the first resurrection. They're already worshiping. They're already in their linens. They're already waiting. They're praising, they're worshiping, and also, like we hear in Revelation 5, they are waiting for God to recompense them. Right? The second seal has been opened. The saints are waiting. They've been waiting. They're up there in heaven waiting. And so, hopefully, as these things, as we keep moving through the book, we're about 1/3 of the way through Revelation right now, it is getting very, very clear to you that people down here have so very limited understanding of the magnitude of our Father. It's a very limited take to think that people who have died over the last 6,000 years are somehow hanging out in the ground in like a frozen cryogenic state. These flesh bodies are not getting resurrected. They will return to the earth as we are told. They will return to dust. That's the job of the flesh body. Our immortal bodies, like we are told in Revelation 7:16, is a glorified body that does not need any of the normal human stuff and is perfectly fine to be in a white robe. Okay, so hopefully that is a helpful insight, and hopefully you're still hanging out for this teaching. So we will talk more in Revelation 8 about the seventh seal. And because remember, we only covered in Revelation 6 the first 6 seals. And in Revelation 8, we're going to talk about the seventh seal. Okay, so I will see you guys on the next video.